Have you ever considered having another child? One More Child is my story of personal growth and a journey of faith. In this book, I share snippets of my life and the reasons for the choices I made early on in my marriage. That was to limit our family size. However, the Lord had other plans, and eventually we made a decision to have more children, and this changed my life forever. I invite you to read One More Child, which is available in print and on Kindle on Amazon.
This is a production of the Ultimate Homeschool Radio Network. Welcome to the Vintage Homeschool Mom Show. Your host, Felice Gerwitz, is an author, a publisher, and your radio show host. She will encourage, educate, and inspire you with answers to your most pressing questions from homeschool, marriage, parenting, and much more. Felice loves to equip moms to live a Christian life because every moment counts. Be sure to visit her website at mediaangels.com. And here's your host, Felice Gerwitz.
We first noticed Asher was having difficulties with learning when he was about 5. We ended up having him privately tested, and of course it came back that he was dyslexic. It was super overwhelming. Like there was just list and list of all these programs. So we started talking to people and felt like everybody was just saying something different. I hired the lady that had tested him. She tutored him for a year, one-on-one, 4 days a week. She came to me and was like, it's not working. Thankfully, she had met Dr. Conway. She just highly suggested the Morris Center. From there, my husband and I got in touch with the Morris Center, and Dr. Conway spoke with us over the phone, and you could just really tell his expertise in dyslexia.
Enroll your child or teenager at themorriscenter.com, or for virtual sessions, visit nowprograms.com.
Hey everyone, and welcome. This is Felice Gerwitz with an episode of Vintage Homeschool Moms, and today we are going to talk about New Year's Eve celebrations. Sometimes people get all nostalgic and sad because it's the end of a year and the beginning of another, but we really have to look at things with hopeful expectations, especially if you have Jesus in your heart. Every single day can be a day of expectation. You can find the show notes for today's episode at vintagehomeschoolmoms.com, episode 317, 317, and you can find them there. And I've got 10 points I want to share with you. First, I want to thank our sponsor, that is Media Angels. You can find more information at mediaangels.com, as well as if you have Amazon Prime, the Media Angels books are free shipping. So check them out there. Also, I have come out with a book. It is called One More Child, and you can find that book on Amazon. You can get the Kindle version there. And I'm going to hesitate before I say that is Prime as well. I'll have to go look at the settings before I say that. So check that out. Well, I have 10 things that I'm going to share with you that we do on New Year's Eve. And again, these have changed through the years as the kids have gotten older, but they're super fun things that we've done in the past. The first is to talk about your New Year's resolution. My favorite is when, the kids would be talking about this almost the day after Christmas, and they would be saying, well, I don't know what my resolution is going to be. So we would talk about different things like character qualities and things like that. So if they have not picked their New Year's resolution, you can help them with that on New Year's Eve. And one of the things we talked about was character qualities. But don't sit there and point them out going, well, I think you really need to be working on patience this year because that's, something that you don't have. Well, we want to be positive, so we don't want to say that, right? But those are some things you could talk about. The second is to share what you will resolve. Like for me, it was praying early in the morning. I told the kids I really wanted to put God first, and then I wanted to wake up and do prayer. And then as they have grown and moved on in some cases, and in others gone off to college. For me, I was able to go to morning mass. So I can't always go, but the days I can go have been such a blessing. And the third is service. How could I serve others? And young moms, you are serving. This is not a podcast of guilt. My podcasts never have any guilt. They're guilt-free. So, just pray and just see how the Lord wants you to serve. And it could just be being a friend to someone, or whatever that is that comes into your life. A lot of these things are God incidences. The third is think light food and snacks, because after all that celebrating at Christmas time, we all have eaten too much. So for us, we set out grazing foods all day. So we'll have a light breakfast, and then I'll put out trays of like carrots and celery and dips and some fruit. I'll do some cheeses and maybe some ham chunks left over from, Christmas ham or whatever that is, crackers. And those are out so that the kids know that, if they're really starved and they want to grab a sandwich, they can, but we're going to do a really light lunch that day. And then the fourth thing we've done is had game day. We play games. Some of them are things the kids got during Christmas, like if they've gotten a craft or something that takes a little bit more help. It's like one of those, we'll wait for mom to help you things. You can pull that out. Or maybe it's one of those Lego things or, erector sets that you have to put together, or even a car set with tracks. It's a fun thing to bring out, make a big mess in the living room, and then, make sure you clean it up by the end of the day. The fifth is to read. A lot of times we'd have read aloud books, and we would start them. Like I remember one year we started the series of Little House on the Prairie or Chronicles of Narnia or whatever that is. And you can start the day with reading aloud. If you're blessed enough to live in a cold place, you can light the fireplace. We have a fireplace that we very rarely light here, but that has always been a fun thing to light the fireplace and do a read aloud. The sixth is to go on a walk. Again, depending on the weather. If you can go on a walk, it's a great thing to do just to break up the day. The seventh is to call relatives. I mean, now that people have the ability to FaceTime, and they can use their computers, to talk to each other. Use that as a time to catch up with your relatives, and everyone can say hello. And, have a list of questions that the kids can either something that they can tell their relatives, because usually they sit there in shell shock and don't know what to say, like deer in the headlights. So give them a list of things that they can share, like, I'd like to tell you something I got for Christmas, or they can ask a question if someone has not been feeling well. They can just say, how are you feeling? Even if someone else has asked that, it's okay to ask a question again. The eighth is bake and prepare. If you're going to be doing a celebration on Christmas Day, you may want to do some things on Christmas Eve or grill out, which is what I'm planning to do. So you can, maybe think of that. The ninth is a movie. Usually in the evening, we would watch some kind of movie before midnight. I have kids that do not like to stay up until midnight. They get too tired. So some of them would go to bed beforehand, and my husband and I would stay up. Or I remember one year we were just exhausted because our kids were little, and we all went to bed, and wished each other Happy New Year the next day. And the 10th is a light dinner, pizza, or you can continue on with your light tray with different meats and cheeses, and then, wait and have your own celebration of a countdown, especially if everyone wants to go to bed early. You can do that and enjoy. Well, thanks so much for listening. I hope some of these ideas have sparked some ideas of your own. And if you have some great ideas, go ahead and share them with me at vintagehomeschoolmoms.com. I shared this episode early just so that you can get some ideas ahead of time. And I will be talking to you in the new year. So have a blessed New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. And I'll be coming back to you soon with some wonderful ideas for January with a brand new printable for the Ultimate Homeschool Radio Network. So if you are a subscriber to our email, you will be getting those free printables every month. They are going to be a little bit different than last year's. Last year we had a theme for every month that was along with what was going on in the month. So like January, February themed. And these new printables, I'm not even going to share with you a little hint, other than to tell you that they're all going to be different. So I have a whole list, and I'm excited about what we're going to share. I love making them. I think it's super fun to do them myself. Well, take care. God bless, and have a wonderful new year. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the Vintage Homeschool Mom Show. Visit Felice at MediaAngels.com and TheVintageHomeschoolMoms.com. Vintage Homeschool Moms is a production of the Ultimate Homeschool Radio Network.